Merry Christmas, everyone. I hope your holiday season is going great. A lot of Commander players who are looking to take their game to a more competitive level ask the question, what is Stax? As my Christmas gift to you, I'm going to share that information with you today. It makes sense to kick this off with the card the Stax playstyle is named after, Smokestack. Smokestack has been irritating Magic players since its creation, and for good reason. It plays off an important theme a lot of Stax decks utilize, forcing your opponents to sacrifice their permanents. Next, let's take a look at 3 commonly played Stax artifacts: Winter Orb, Static Orb, and Tanglewire. Winter Orb effectively freezes your opponent's land base and shuts off decks that lack mana-producing artifacts. Static Orb goes the extra mile and shuts off damn near everything on the board from untapping. Tanglewire lives up to its name. It trips up your opponents and minimizes their ability to cast spells or play effectively in any capacity. Now let's take a look at another common theme among Stax decks, taxing your opponent's spells. The goal of tax effects is simple: slow your opponents down by making spells more expensive to cast. Cards like Sphere of Resistance, Thorn of Amethyst, Lodestone Golem, and Tabernacle at Pendrell Vale are examples of very powerful tax effects that can be used in any deck. There are 3 key themes that I want to get across to you that Stax decks are trying to achieve. The first is forcing your opponents to sacrifice their permanents. The second is forcing your opponents to tap down their permanents. And the third is taxing your opponents for any permanents that they want to play. It should be pretty obvious that Stax decks are aiming to be as brutal as possible. Their entire objective is to prevent their opponents at the table from playing pretty much anything at all. Highly tuned Stax decks should be reserved for mature, competitive metas. These are not the kind of thing you want to take to a group of people who are playing with pre-con decks or who are just barely starting the game. It can really ruin a play experience for a new player. With all that being said, I want to encourage anybody out there who's looking to upgrade to a more competitive deck and step their level of play up. Stax is a really solid option for that. If you found your meta in recent weeks, recent months, is really coming up in terms of their play level, a Stax deck is a perfect way to go. Let's take a look at some popular tax effects. White is the most common color for tax effects, with blue being a close second. Cards like Thalia, Guardian of Thraben, and Aura of Silence are great at slowing down anyone trying to play out their hand in a hurry. Ghostly Prison, Propaganda, and Sphere of Safety work best against aggressive decks and help keep the Stax players safe from combat damage. Cards that excel at tapping down your opponent's permanents can be found in all 5 colors. Root Maze is a budget-friendly 1-mana enchantment that makes for a solid turn 1 play against combo decks. Stasis is a classic. This card is straight up disgusting. If your opponents lack removal, you can lock them out of a game. War's Toll and Vorinclex force your opponents to tap down all their lands each turn. This is a great way to prevent people from disrupting your spells during your turn. Sack effects are next. Holy Heliod, black has a crap ton of these. Red has quite a few too, but their effects mostly focus on destroying lands. Grave Pact is a well-known card. It can easily take out every creature on a battlefield and shuts down aggro decks in brutal fashion. Dictative Erebos is close in ability to Grave Pact. It just costs 1 more and has flash. Price of Glory wrecks players who thrive on instant speed spells. Hint hint, blue player. And Aura Flux is one of the few blue sack effects out there, so I put it on here to show it some love. Before you jump into the world of Stax, there's a few questions that you should ask yourself first. Are you prepared to take on multiple opponents at the same time? It's very common with Stax players that they will be targeted by everybody at the table as soon as they attempt to start locking down the board. Are you prepared to use land destruction on your opponents? Many Stax decks run effects like Armageddon or Jokelhops that destroy every land on the battlefield. Lastly, are you prepared to spend a considerable amount of time tuning, fixing, and learning to play your deck? If you answered yes to all of those questions and have determined that you are ready to be the Stax player you were born to be, I have a few commanders to show you. Every Stax deck utilizes their commander in a different way. Some decks are built around a commander's abilities. Others hardly use their commander at all, and focus instead on the colors they open up access to. The commanders I'm showing here have a wide mix of abilities and color schemes. I'm not going to go in depth on each creature shown here. My goal is to highlight popular Stax commander choices and hopefully give you some ideas. There are way more creatures out there that make for great Stax commanders. This list has some great options, but always do your research and choose the commander that's right for you. If you're looking to build the most competitive Stax deck possible, I have two suggestions. The first is Teferi Temporal Archmage. His -1 ability allows you to play around tap effects like Static Orb, which makes him an absolute powerhouse. Second is the partner pairing of Tana the Bloodsower and Timna the Weaver. This deck utilizes cards like Blood Moon to lock down the table and black tutor spells to assemble combo pieces for quick wins. In the description below, I've linked several Stax deck lists that can help explain how these commanders work in greater detail. If you're looking to up your game, I highly suggest checking them out. So I hope this list helped clear up a little better about what exactly Stax is, helpful cards to run in a Stax deck, and commanders that you can choose from if you decide to build a Stax deck of your very own. I want to say thank you to everybody. We started this channel just a few weeks ago, and we've already come a long way, and we're just going to keep on pushing and keep on making better content for you guys as the days and weeks go along. I'd like to wish each of you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. Next week, I'll be back with a brand new episode of Commander Top 5. Next time, it's going to be all about Mono Red. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys rock. If you love this content and you want some more, please leave a like and subscribe. You can also follow us on social media. All those links are in the description below. Stay classy, deck builders. We'll see you next time.